Hello, hello. Hey, can you hear me, Karen?
There I go. Yes, I can hear you.
For some reason, my computer doesn't seem to be picking up my external microphone today, so I'll have to project my voice.
Yeah, you're coming through loud and clear.
Okay. I won't be this close to the computer the whole
Yeah,
time.
I know.
How are you this morning?
I'm doing pretty good. Having a little bit of a flare up with my colitis, but the
Shoot.
past yesterday, and hopefully
Oh,
today it gets a little bit better. So I'm just glad to be in class.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Hopefully get it behind you quickly.
Thank you. Thank you.
And good morning, Pat. Might be settling in.
Good morning.
Hey.
Getting my hair in a ponytail here.
What was that? I'm sorry.
Getting my hair in a ponytail.
Oh, got it. Okay. All the important things. All right. Well, I'm going to share a passage once again from my favorite book. And I guess I'll hit the record button first. And just so you know, this passage is pretty similar to last week, Pat, but I don't think we can nurture the seeds of joy and happiness too much. Okay, record. Oh, it was recording the whole time. Good thing this doesn't get posted. I hadn't paused it. Okay. So moving right along. It says I'm muted, but I'm not. All right, so I'm sharing a passage from Thich Nhat Hanh's Reconciliation, Healing the Inner Child. And this passage is on preparing to transform suffering. So he says, there are three ways that we can work towards transforming deep-rooted seeds of suffering. The first is to focus on sowing and watering our seeds of happiness. We do not work with the seeds of suffering initially, but instead we allow seeds of happiness to transform them. This is indirect transformation. The second way is to practice mindfulness continuously, so that when seeds of suffering arise, we're able to recognize them. Every time they manifest, we bathe them in the light of mindfulness. Our seeds are a field of energy, and mindfulness is also a field of energy. When the seeds are in contact with mindfulness, they will weaken. Mindfulness transforms them. The third way to deal with afflictions that have been with us since childhood is to deliberately invite them up into our mind consciousness. We invite the sadness, despair, regrets, longings that in the past have been difficult for us to touch, and we sit down and talk with them like old friends. But before we invite them up, we must be sure that the lamp of mindfulness is lit and that its light is steady and strong. So with this morning's practice, we will focus on nurturing the seeds of joy and happiness and practicing our mindfulness throughout with our asana. We won't specifically seek to invite seeds of sadness or despair up, but interestingly enough, when I was practicing this morning, I reserved some time for some seated practice at the end, some meditation, and I was meditating on joy and happiness, but started feeling deep sadness bubbling up. And my first impulse was to change the channel back to joy and happiness, like, no sadness, we're not doing it right now. And then I remembered, something from, that final paragraph. And I was like, okay, now I'm going to welcome the sadness. I'm going to sit with the sadness. I'm just going to tell it that it can be here too. So anyway, it was the process working. And I almost had this feeling like, like Thich Nhat Hanh's spirit that's now really universal, was just like here. So anyway, it was very beautiful. So thanks for letting me share that. All right. And then Pat, I don't know if you heard me say to Karen, my external microphone isn't working this morning, so I'm going to project my voice as much as I can. And if you wouldn't mind muting, then that will probably help there be less potential for interference. And I just heard our garbage truck or recycling truck go by, so hopefully that was it for the next hour. I just lost you on the big screen.
Your laptop went away.
Yeah, that's what I said. I lost you on the big screen. Let me just quickly, while you settle in, see if I can just log back in. I don't know if it completely kicked me out. It looks like it might have. So as you settle into a comfortable seat.
I can see you, Alice. I see. Yeah.
That's me on the laptop, but not the desk, not the big screen. Well, I think that's just not going to happen. But if you have me on speaker view, I'll just leave my monitor on gallery, and that way I'll be able to see you too, even if you're in smaller squares. It's a morning for technical difficulties. And can you hear me still? Okay, good. All right. So with all of that out of the way, rest your hands in your lap. Soften your gaze or close your eyes. Begin to bring some light awareness to sensations of the breath flowing in, flowing out of your body. Take a few moments to sense the weight of your sitting bones as they meet the surface beneath you. Ever so slightly, rock your weight on your pelvis forward and back, side to side. Use your discernment and sensitivity to settle in with an even balance on your sitting bones. With your next few exhalations, allow the weight of those sitting bones to be heavy towards the earth. And then shift your awareness here to lengthening up through the crown of your skull. Sitting bones stay anchored as your spine elongates. And with your next few out breaths, encourage your shoulders to release down away from your ears, letting go of tension. You might rest one hand across your low belly, the other across your heart. And initiate a subtle form of the Ujjayi breath, creating just a slight tone at the back of your throat. a hint of a whispering sound. I invite you to rest your awareness here on your lower abdominal region. Experience your low belly blossoming outwards into the palm of the bottom hand with each inhalation. And conversely, your belly receding back inwards towards the base of your spine with each exhalation. And I've suggested you rest your awareness here in the vicinity of your second chakra, because this is the region of the body that the ancient yogis tell us the seeds of the emotions exist. The joy, the happiness, sadness, longing, despair. Following Thich Nhat Hanh's advice, we're going to devote some time this morning to nurturing the seeds of joy and happiness as they incubate in the second chakra. So I'll borrow language from the passage that I shared last week that you can work with for the next short while in your meditation. The phrase we'll use is breathing in. I'm aware of the seeds of joy and happiness within me. Breathing out, I smile to the seeds of joy and happiness within me. Just on your own rhythm, silently, kindly, patiently repeat the phrases to yourself. Breathing in, I'm aware of the seeds of joy and happiness within me. Breathing out, I smile to the seeds of joy and happiness within me. All the while, as you're silently repeating those phrases, rest your awareness on the rise and fall of your belly. Envision gazing down upon those seeds of joy and happiness, bathing them in warmth and light. Offer them your patience. Give them full permission to germinate in their own time. Acknowledge and accept that you can't rush the process. Right now, you're simply bringing your awareness to the seeds of joy and happiness within, and offering your warm, loving smile to the seeds of joy and happiness within. And now you can let go of the phrases. For the time being, continue to rest your awareness, the rise and fall of your low belly. Your attention gets pulled elsewhere, gently guide it back. And with your awareness still trained on the rise and fall of your belly, join your hands at heart center. Bow your head to your hands. And then bring your chin to level as you open your eyes. Bring your hands down to your lap for a moment. Now with your eyes open, sense your connection to the seeds of joy and happiness within. Now we'll offer them some nutrients, some fertilizer in the form of the Gayatri Mantra. You join your palms at heart center again. The Gayatri Mantra, we marvel at the glory of creation. We'll chant it 3 times together. Om Bhur Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata. Om Bhurva Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata. Om Bhurva Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata. Om Shanti Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Shanti, Om. Sit quietly for a few moments. Experience the natural undulations of your breath. Return your awareness to your second chakra, the belly region. Experience how the continuing reverberations of the chant, the Gayatri Mantra, are influencing your seeds of joy and happiness in these moments. Sense them being stirred by the vibrations that linger. And then you can open your eyes, return your hands to your lap. Our breath practice this morning, we'll do Chandra Vedana, which is the alternate nostril breathing that's similar to Nadi Shodhana, except with this one, you'll breathe in through the left nostril and out for the right, continuously in left, out right. Just know when we breathe in through the left nostril, we're helping light up the right hemisphere of the brain, the part that is most involved with feelings of connection, belonging, ease. When we breathe out through the right nostril, we're helping to kind of down regulate the left hemisphere, the part that can be beneficially involved in thinking and planning, sometimes too much so though, and also can get into comparison, judgment, things that feed our separation. So you can bring your right hand up. Close your right nostril with your thumb and inhale through the left side. Close your left nostril with your ring finger and exhale through your right nostril. In left. Out right. In left. Out right. And continue on your own rhythm. You can play with some visualization here. When you inhale through your left nostril, imagine like a warm glow, like a fireplace in a dimly lit room. And when you exhale, excuse me, I had that wrong. When you inhale through the left nostril, envision sunlight beaming through the trees, sparkling. You're lighting up the right hemisphere of your brain. When you exhale through the right nostril, here you'll envision the soft, warm glow of the fireplace, soothing the left hemisphere of your brain. Inhale, sunlight. Exhale, warm glow of the fireplace. No more rounds, continuing to exercise your imagination, your powers of visualization. Next time you exhale through your right nostril, return your right hand to your lap. Welcome and release natural breath through both nostrils. And once again, place your awareness, your mind's eye, at your second chakra. Sense how the seeds of joy and happiness within you received the benefits of the Chandra Vedana practice. Now open your eyes, shake out your shoulders a bit. You're welcome to shift your leg position, be seated for a little bit longer. You can rest your hands on your lap. Inhale, sweep your gaze skywards as you lift your chin and your sitting bones, seated cow. And then exhale, sweep your gaze down and in as you round your spine, draw your sitting bones under like a seated version of cat pose. Inhale, gaze up, look up, extend your spine. Exhale, gaze down, look inwards, round your spine. Alternate back and forth. You're just limbering up your spine. Sense the varied moment-to-moment experience of your lower abdominal region as you move through this simple sequence. Then settle back into neutral. Again, sense how your second chakra, the seeds of joy and happiness within, have been touched. And that alternating extension and flexion. And now you can place one fist in front of your solar plexus, wrap the other fist lightly around it. And as if you were stirring the soup, rotate your hands and your torso in one direction. We're touching into the water element here. This is associated with the second chakra. You might imagine here moistening the seeds of joy and happiness. Moisture will allow them to soften with time. And then pause at your midpoint. Change the clasp of your hands, opposite hand on the outside of the fist. And then stir the soup the other direction. Sense the fluidity of this motion. With moisture and movement, you're softening the seeds of joy and happiness. And again, you're not rushing the process or encouraging them to germinate before their time. Just allowing. And then back to stillness. Here you can rest your right fingertips beside you and inhale, sweep your left arm up overhead and side bend to your right. Both sitting bones stay heavy towards the earth here. With your out breaths, you might devote a little extra attention to rooting down through your left sitting bone. Welcome the breath into your left side waist. The spaces between each of your left side ribs. Imagine you're welcoming in daylight from the side. And then inhale back up through center, lower your left arm down. And segue into the next side. Inhale, sweep your right arm overhead and side bend to your left. With each and every out breath, recommit the weight of your right sitting bone towards the earth. Imagine warmth and sunlight permeating the left side of your torso. The seeds of joy and happiness are intended to germinate, flourish. They don't require conditions such as moisture and sunlight in a particular order or in exactly measured amounts. You will get enough of what they need. You allow them to. And then inhale back upright, lower your right arm down. And clasp your fingertips at your heart center. Inhale, sit tall. And exhale, glance left and begin to rotate your shoulders and your ribcage to the left. Inhale, emphasize length of your spine, and then exhale, rotate a bit further. And once more, inhale, sit tall. Exhale, explore whether you have comfortable capacity for even a tiny bit more rotation to the left. And then you can lower your hands down, left fingertips behind you, the back of your right hand to the outside of your left knee. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, maintain. Sense how your low belly region is experiencing a twist here, as well as your thoracic spine and your cervical spine too. And then exhale to unwind, return to center, rest your hands in your lap for a moment. Say hello to the seeds of joy and happiness within. Offer them your kind gaze. And then once again, clasp your fingers at heart center. Inhale, sit up to your full height, and exhale. Begin gazing right and initiating your rotation. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, gaze a bit further to your right. Allow your rotation to follow. And once more, inhale to elongate. Exhale, ease into a tiny bit deeper twist. And then lower your hands down. Rest your awareness at your second chakra. Notice how it's experiencing the squeeze. And then exhale, make your way back to center. And you can set your block or blanket aside. Have a couple of blocks handy out in front of you. And we'll come first to table pose. You can have your hands on the mat for this. Spread your fingers wide with your hands beneath your shoulders. Place your knees hip width apart and just a bit behind your hips. And we'll transition through cat-cow a few times. I'm going to actually turn sideways to you for now. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, round your spine into cat. Utilize your soft ujjayi breath. Allow your awareness to accompany your lower abdominal region as you move throughout this sequence of, once again, extension and flexion. Back and forth a few more times. The end of your next exhalation, spine rounded in cat pose. Keep that rounded quality as you draw your hips to your heels. Release your head down into child's pose. Your head doesn't comfortably reach the floor. You can place a block or a folded blanket under your forehead. Experience the undulations of your belly against the tops of your thighs, rhythm with your breathing. Visualize seeds of joy and happiness incubating within you. For the beneficiaries of the exchange of warmth between the tops of your thighs and your belly. And then inhale, press back up to hands and knees. And straighten your left leg behind you, left toes on the mat. Bring your gaze out in front of you. And exhale, rock back slightly. Inhale, rock forward, coming onto the top of your left foot. Exhale, rock back, left toes tucked. Inhale, rock forward. Alternate back and forth a few times. And then settle into stillness with your left toes tucked. Pivot in your left heel down to touch your mat. And inhale, extend your left arm up overhead. Sense your right palm, right knee and lower leg, inner edge of your left foot rooted to the earth. Left arm and fingertips are like a sprout. Imagine the seeds of joy and happiness have germinated. That sprout is reaching towards the sun. Now you can sweep your left arm past your left ear. That sprout is reaching at a diagonal. And then pivot back down to table pose. I'm going to spin around to the opposite side. And this time, keep your right toes in contact with the mat as you straighten your right knee. Bring your gaze up in front of you. Exhale, rock back slightly. Inhale, rock forward. Rest your awareness in your lower abdominal region. Sense this area of your body being taken for a ride. Being swept forward and back along your mat. And then come to stillness. Pivot your inner right heel to the mat and reach your right fingertips skyward. Experience the 3 points of your root system here. Close to the earth. And then imagine through your right arm and fingertips, a sprout has germinated out of those seeds of joy and happiness. Flourishing in the sunlight, being strengthened by exposure to the elements, the wind, the rain. And now sweep your right arm past your right ear. Welcome the sunlight into the space between your right side ribs. Feel that sprout of your right arm isn't going directly skyward. It's going off kind of along a horizontal plane, shining where it's needed. And then rotate back down to table pose. Here I'm going to turn to face you and take your blocks out in front of you on your medium setting. Actually set them to the side one more moment. With your hands flat and shoulder distance apart, extend your right leg out to the right. The inner edge of your right foot will be on the mat. Bring your gaze out in front of you. And exhale, rock back. Inhale, rock forward. Continue on your own rhythm. It's an opportunity to loosen up your right adductor muscles, right inner thigh. And now settle into stillness. Place your blocks about shoulder distance apart. And then put them on the tall setting as you press your torso up to vertical. Place your hands on your hips. Sense the roots of left foot, left lower leg and knee. Inner edge of your right foot, burrowing down into the earth. And then inhale, sweep both arms up overhead. Sprouts germinating from the seeds of joy and happiness. And then exhale, sweep your left arm down to shoulder height. Turn your gaze to look out over your left hand. And inhale, rotate head to center as you sweep your left arm overhead. And continue on your own rhythm, repeating that action. Each time you gaze left and reach left with your fingertips, your shining qualities of joy and happiness off to the left horizon. We're sending them laterally to brothers, sisters, companions on the path. Your practice has the potential to benefit all lives that you touch. And then settle back into neutral, arms overhead. Take your arms wide as you bow over your thighs. Touch your hands to this tall blocks. Bring them down to medium. And then return, whoops, your left leg to the starting position. Eyes filled by water. And extend your left leg out to the side. Set the blocks aside for a moment as you bring your palms down to the mat, shoulder width apart. Inner edge of your left foot on the mat, and bring your gaze out in front of you. Exhale, rock back. Inhale, rock forward. Be curious how your lower abdominal region experiences this rocking. The left leg extended out to the side. Come to stillness. Bring your blocks back into shoulder height. Take them up to the tall setting. And transfer hands to hips. Feel in to the firm establishment of your roots. Sinking down into the earth. And inhale, arms wide. Sprouts are reaching up towards the sunlight. And exhale, turn your gaze to the right, lower your right arm down to shoulder height. And inhale, gaze forward, right arm overhead. And continue that alternating action. Each time you look right, you're sending joy and happiness out to the right horizon. It's influencing the lives of everyone it comes in contact with. Couple more times. And then exhale, float your arms down to your hips. Place them forward on the tall blocks. Bring the blocks to medium. And return your left knee and left lower leg to the mat. You can take your blocks out wide to the side. Hands plant down into table pose. Tuck your toes and press your hips up and back, downward facing dog. And then walk your fingertips in towards your toes. Soft knees. And spread your arms wide as you rise up to Urdhva Hastasana, rooting and lifting. And exhale, slide your hands down to your heart. Shake out your arms and legs. Before our sun salutation, I'm just grabbing something to wipe up my water spill. Remember to move my mat later. And have your blocks handy for your practice this morning. We'll use them at times. In mountain pose, join your palms at heart center. Exhale, send your sitting bones towards the earth. Feel the slight lift and tone in your lower abdominals. Should feel like buckled seatbelts, snug but not tight. And it should remain breathable, responding with a rise on inhalation, slight fall, receding in towards the base of your spine on exhalation. Soles of your feet still firmly rooted to the earth. Inhale your arms down and up overhead. rooting and lifting. Fingertips reaching towards the sunlight. And then exhale, slide your hands to your heart center, bow over your thighs, hands to your blocks. Release the weight of your head. You're welcome to bend your knees slightly and enjoy the sensation, exchange of touch between your belly and the tops of your thighs. And then inhale, sweep your gaze and heart forward. Let the knees go straight here, and exhale, step your right toes back behind you. Press your hands into the blocks. Feel the tongue that encourages across the base of your belly. And then exhale, lower your back knee and the top of your back foot to the mat. Inhale, sweep your arms skyward as you root down through your legs and feet. Keep gazing skyward as you exhale. Take your arms wide. Clasp your fingers at your sacrum. Press your knuckles down towards the earth as you lift your heart and your ears. Continually root down through your sitting bones. Your exhalation can be your ally in that action. And then exhale, bow over your front thigh, bringing your torso down the inseam of your left leg. Sweep your knuckles up towards the ceiling. Ease your shoulders down away from your ears. Sense your left low belly snug against your inner left thigh. Release the clasp of your fingertips. Bring your hands down onto the blocks. Tuck your back toes and come into your low lunge. Down with your fingertips. Root down through your left footprint, including left big toe and outer left heel. Reach inner right heel back towards the wall behind you. And then inhale, sweep your arms overhead, crescent lunge. Your legs and feet are strong and rooted. The sprouts through your arms and fingers are reaching towards the sunshine. Return your awareness to your lower abdominal region here. Sweep your arms wide and once again, interlace your fingers at your sacrum. Press your knuckles down towards the earth as you roll your shoulders open. Take your gaze and heart skyward. Balance pose here. And exhale, hinge at your hips as you bow over your thighs. Once again, left low belly snug against the inner left thigh, arms overhead. Release the clasp of your fingers, hands back to the blocks, and step back to a high plank pose here. Strong arms, strong legs. Elongate crown of your skull and sitting bones toward the opposite walls. Appreciate the tone that creates across the base of your belly without sacrificing the quality of your breath. And then exhale, touch your knees down. You can set your blocks aside for now. Hands and knees. Circle your pelvis clockwise, watering the seeds. And then circle the other direction. Settle back into stillness, elongate your spine. Strengthen your center. Tuck your toes and press up to plank pose. And then you can bend your knees and lower down onto your belly through knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. So top to the heel mat. Exhale, commit your sitting bones towards your heels. Feel your lower abdominals light up. Warm glow. And then inhale, draw your shoulders towards your ears and circle them down your back as you rise into cobra pose. Legs, sitting bone, pubic bone are rooted. Heart and gaze are blossoming forward. And then exhale to descend. Firm low belly, and you can press up either to plank or to table. And then come to downward facing dog. With an exhale, draw your right knee in towards your nose. And then extend your right leg skyward, reaching for the sun. Rooted down. Both hands through your left footprint. And now shift your body weight forward as you draw right knee in towards your nose and plant it between your hands. Pivot, inner left heel down. Place the block to the outside of your right foot. You'll need it momentarily. And rise to warrior two. Establish the root system of your legs and feet. Energize your center. As you exhale, release your sitting bones towards the earth. Flip right palm skyward and inhale, rising warrior. Sprout, reaching for the sun. Joy and happiness. And then exhale, come to supported side angle. That tendril of joy and happiness reaching out to your right here. And then flow back and forth between the two a few times. Experience those seeds of joy and happiness germinating within you, coming to fruition, allowing you the opportunity to offer them out into the world. And then next time you exhale, come into a side angle with your hand on the block to the outside of your right ankle. Hold steady here for a few breaths. Imagine sending joy and happiness, particularly through the root of your left footprint and out through your left fingertips. And then inhale, rise to warrior two. And exhale, cartwheel as you step your left foot forward. And then bow deeply over your thighs. Inhale, take your arms wide as you unfurl and rise to Urdhva Hastasana, upward salute, rooting and lifting. And exhale, lower your hands to your height. Take my blocks with me as I move over for the second side. And place them on either side of your toes, left and right sides. Join your palms at heart center. Feel into the root system through the soles of your feet, the pads of your toes, inner and outer heels, back of your pelvis, heavy towards the earth. Keep that rooted quality as you inhale, arms down and up, overhead. Sprouts reaching skywards. And then exhale, slide your hands to heart center, bow over your thighs. Come into Uttanasana, standing forward bend, slight bend in your knees.
Experience the contact between your belly and the tops of your thighs. Exchange of force. Inhale, gaze and heart forward as you work your knees towards straight. And then exhale, step your left toes back. Lower your left knee, the top of your left foot. And inhale, arms skyward, Anjaneyasana. You're rooted through the base of your toes. Your center is energized. Your gaze and your fingertips are reaching towards beams of sunlight. Keep that gaze skyward as you float your arms down to your sides. Take the less familiar interlace of your fingers at your sacrum. Press your knuckles towards the earth as you roll your shoulders open. Shine your heart and your gaze up towards the sky. And then exhale, hinge at your hips. Bow over your front thigh. Right low belly snug against your inner right thigh. Knuckles pressed up towards the ceiling, shoulders reach down away from the ears. Release the clasp of your fingers. Touch your hands to the blocks as you tuck your back toes. Press up to your low lunge. Strong feet, strong legs, strong center. And inhale, arms overhead, crescent lunge. Unfurl your arms, the fingertips drawn towards the sunlight. And then take your arms wide. Once again, unfamiliar interlace of your fingers at your sacrum. Press your knuckles down towards the earth as you roll your shoulders open. Shine your gaze and your heart skyward. Keep your breath steady and smooth, even as stamina and balance are challenged. And exhale, bow forward, arms overhead. Right low belly, right inner thigh snug. Release the clasp of your fingers, touch down, hands to blocks, and step back to plank pose. Take a few breaths here. Touch both knees down. Set your blocks aside. From table pose, tuck your toes. And let's exhale, knees, chest, chin. And then unroll your legs behind you, place the tops of your feet on the mat. Rest your forehead on the mat. And exhale, reach your sitting bones towards your heels. Feel your lower abdominals right up here. Take your arms wide, turn palms to the front. Keep your legs and pelvis grounded as you inhale and rise to Savasana. Joy and happiness emanating forward from your heart. And exhale, bring your hands beneath your shoulders. Release your head down, pranam. And press up to table or plank. And then exhale to downward facing dog. Sense four limbs rooted to the earth here. Drawing sustenance from the earth beneath. And then draw your left knee in towards your nose and extend your left leg up and back behind you. Sprout has germinated, it's reaching for the sunlight. And exhale. Step your left foot forward. Pivot inner right heel down. Have your block at your medium setting to the outside of your left foot. And rise to warrior two. Feel into the stable root system for your feet, your strong legs. And then spin your left palm to the sky. Inhale, rising warrior. Exhale, supported side angle. Rooted through your feet as your left arm reaches skyward. Still rooted through your feet as your right arm sweeps past your right ear. Sending joy and happiness to the horizon. Back and forth once or twice more. And with your next exhalation, come down into a fuller expression of side angle pose. With your left fingertips resting on the block to the outside of your left ankle. Imagine the joy and happiness drawn from the earth, flowing through you and out your right fingertips. Fire hose of joy and happiness. And then inhale back up to warrior two. Windmill your arms down to frame your front foot as you step your right foot forward, and exhale, deep bow over your thighs. And inhale, arms wide, padottanasana. And exhale, glide your hands back down to your head. Smile to the seeds of joy and happiness within. Gaze upon them at your second chakra. And then shake out your limbs. And come down onto your mat here. Extend your right leg in front of you. And bend your left knee. So the sole of your left foot is on the mat. Fingertips behind you. And then step your left foot over your right thigh, to the outside of your right knee. And wrap your right elbow around your left kneecap, left fingertips behind you. Sit tall. Breathe into the exchange of warmth and touch between your low belly and your inner left thigh. Inhale, sit up tall as you comfortably can, and then exhale, rotate to your left. Sense the squeeze, like pressure in your right abdominals. And exhale, unwind, and bring forehead down to rest on your left knee. The spaciousness in your back body here. And then unfurl your torso, rise back up to an upright seat. And change your legs. Right foot to the outside of the left thigh here. Wrap the crook of your left elbow around the front of your right knee. Right fingertips behind you. Inhale, sit tall. And exhale, rotate to your right. Left low belly becoming cozy with your inner right thigh. Sense seeds of joy and happiness within your second chakra. Experiencing some pressure, preparing for transformation. And then exhale to unwind. Bow your head for a moment. And inhale to sit upright once more. Swing your legs over to the side as you find your comfortable resting position for a few minutes as Savasana. Socks or sweaters or blankets if you like. So you experience the body being supported by the cradle of the earth. Visualize the seeds of joy and happiness within you being cradled by your being. Notice that they've been nurtured with your mindful attention through your practice this morning. Even with your breath very soft in Savasana, notice the slight rise and fall of your belly. Seeds of joy and happiness within you are surrounded by the rhythms of life. So wiggle your fingers and toes. Without a sense of rushing, bend one knee and the other. Shift your hips slightly to one side and roll the other direction. Luxuriate for a few moments in this well-supported side lying position. And then without displacing your sense of internal quiet, with both hands press up to a comfortable seat. Find support for your sitting bones. Then to close class, you can once again rest one hand across your low belly, the other on your heart. A few more moments in your practice. Offer the warmth and glow of your mind and heart to the seeds of joy and happiness within you. Inhale to acknowledge your presence. Exhale to send them a loving smile. Join your palms at heart center and namaste. Thank you for sharing practice. Come up and now I'll turn off the recording.